and welcome to the YES briefing. So this is going to be a briefing about the YES competition. My name's Dr. Georgina Marsh and I'm the Programme Manager for Malaysia YES, and I'm also an Assistant Professor at the University of Nottingham Malaysia. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, first of all, what YES actually is, the structure of the competition, and the benefits that you can take away as a participant and the experience that you're going to enjoy over the next few months. I'll then go into the entry requirements for entering a team and the next steps if you want to participate. So what is YES competition? So YES stands for the Young Entrepreneur Scheme. And as its name suggests, it's the idea of getting young researchers and early career researchers and raising their awareness of commercialization of ideas. So we know that you're all technically strong as you'll be doing your postgraduate or postdoc. But what we want to know is, can you take those ideas and turn them into a business or spin them out into a company? Now that's something that a lot of postgraduates may struggle with. And so this competition aims to teach you those skills so that in the future, when you come across an idea, you might have the opportunity to start your own business. So this has been a long-standing competition in the UK. It's actually entering its 26th year, and it's actually generated thousands of candidates and alumni who've gone on to start businesses and participate in all regions of business and industry. This is actually the first year we're going to be running it in Malaysia. And to give you an idea, what you're going to be doing is, as a team, you're going to be coming up with a hypothetical but plausible business plan. And then you're going to be pitching it for investment like you've seen Dragon's Den or Shark's Tank. Now, obviously, this is hypothetical, so you won't actually be gaining real investment, but instead your pitch will be judged by a series of judges, and they'll decide who has the best business plan. So what's the structure of the competition? Well, first of all, there's this briefing session that I'm giving to you today. Then there's a series of events called Stepping Up, and this is about networking and getting to know the competition. You'll then have an opportunity for idea generation. So when you've formed your team, you can start to discuss what sort of idea you want to form your company around. You'll then have a series of workshops in September to November, every other week, that are led by experts in the UK on various different parts of starting and commercializing ideas. So for instance, they might be on how to come up with that idea, or finance, or protecting your idea using patents. And all of these you can obviously learn from, and they can help you to build your plan for your company and how you're going to pitch it for investment. Once you've done that, you'll be assigned to one of two workshops. These are 3-day events where you'll have 2 days of intensive training. So you'll have a series of talks that will build on the Stepping Out program. And then you'll also, at the end of it, have individual mentoring from each of the experts, and then an opportunity to pitch. So as a team, you'll all participate to pitch for your investment. So you'll discuss your company, you'll discuss your idea, you'll discuss all the various different elements that you've been taught throughout the Stepping Out program and also in the stream workshops. So on the final day, you'll have an opportunity to pitch against all the other teams in your stream. And the top 2 teams from each stream will then go forward to the Malaysian final, which will be happening in January. In the Malaysian final, those 4 teams will compete head-to-head. So there'll be a head-to-head winner for each stream, and then a final overall winner for the competition. The winner of the Malaysian competition will then go forward to showcase their business plan pitch in the UK final that will be occurring on the 21st of January. So just to go into that in a bit more detail. So the first step is stepping up. So if you're interested in entering, what you need to do is form a team. So this will be 4 to 5 members, and I'll discuss the entry requirements in a little bit. You need to apply by the 20th of October. But there's also a careers fair that's happening this week. So if you've already entered or you're planning on entering soon, you can take part in the careers fair where you can start to network and find out more about some of the different roles that might be open to you if you want to use your science and maybe some business skills in your future career. The next step will be coming up with an idea. So this has got to be something that's innovative, is research-based, but you're turning it into a business. So it can be hypothetical, so it should not be based on your actual PhD work, but it has to be plausible. So maybe think about what you've actually done, or think about research and where it currently is, and then try and think a couple of years ahead and see where you think research might be happening or what ideas might be plausible in a few years' time. And that's basically where we want you to pitch your idea. There will be a session in the Stepping Out program on creative thinking to help you kind of define a problem that's suitable, think about the different solutions that you could come to address the problem, and determine the most effective solution in which you're going to take forward for the competition. Just a reminder, you don't need your idea when you apply. When you apply, all we need is a team from you. You can form your idea over the next couple of months, but it has to form an idea before the workshop stream. So remember, you're inventing this idea. It has to be hypothetical, but plausible. So this is an example of a past team and what they've used. So this was a moss repel plant. So as the name suggests, the idea is it repels mosquitoes. So it was obviously a genetically engineered plant, and the idea was that it would be kind of long distance. You could put it near where, for instance, you were eating, and it would kind of keep the mosquitoes at bay in that area. It would obviously be fairly low maintenance, good value for money, as it would last for a while. And so the company that pitched this, they said it had already been approved by the WHO and CDC, which obviously it hadn't been. That's the hypothetical part. This plant hadn't actually been designed, but you can see the idea is something that possibly could be produced. So it's hypothetical but plausible. So as I said, the next step is stepping out. So these are a series of workshops that are actually run by UK experts. So they'll obviously all be done online, and you'll have the recordings that you can watch again with your team. And you can see the various different sessions we have. So for instance, the first one will be on creativity on the 28th of September. So that's to help you to generate your idea. There'll be one on finance. There'll be one on regulatory affairs. So for instance, if you're coming up with a medical product, what do you need to think about in terms of making sure that it's got proper regulatory approval? There'll be something about idea submission. So making sure that you've submitted it and it's ready to go. Then there'll be some about kind of engagement, influence, and impact. So obviously science is not just about researching it for yourself, it's also about reaching out and spreading the word to other people. So that session will give you some ideas on how you can approach that. And then obviously there'll be some mentoring sessions where if you have a specific question or you'd like some advice about your ideas, that gives you the opportunity to fine-tune things before you get to the workshop. Then we have our stream workshops. So we have two kind of themes. So there are the biological sciences, so for instance, plant, biomedical, and then the physical sciences, for instance, fintech and engineering. So when you apply as a team, you need to decide which stream you're going to be aiming for, whether it's biological or physical, and that will dedicate which workshop you then participate in. So the two workshops will take place on the 17th to the 19th of November and the 1st to the 3rd of December. So as I've said before, these are 3-day online workshops, and you'll have 2 days of expert tutorial lectures, and then you'll also have the opportunity for individual mentoring from each of these kind of experts in fields of kind of industry and also commercialization that will help to really kind of delve in deeply to your idea and your business plan and to make sure it's as best as it possibly can be, ready for the final day where you'll pitch your business plan, and it'll be about a 15 minutes presentation followed by 10 minutes of questions and answers from the judges. Top 2 teams from each workshop will then obviously proceed to the final, and there'll be head-to-head pitching for each of the winners of the streams, and then a final overall winner. And the winner will be awarded in the event. There'll also be an opportunity for kind of networking and meeting other people. And finally, you'll then get to go and attend the UK YES final and showcase your pitch as the winner of the Malaysian YES competition. Both of these opportunities are a really invaluable way of building contacts and meeting people that have participated in YES before and also are owners of their own business or have started up or maybe working in one of these different areas that maybe you haven't considered as a career yet. So that sort of leads me on to benefits. So why participate in YES? What's in it for you? Well, first of all, it gives you an opportunity to really enhance your CV, showing some of those transferable skills that you don't necessarily get an opportunity to showcase as part of a normal postgrad or postdoc. Also, you can develop some entrepreneurial skills and understand a bit more about innovation and starting a startup company. It gives you an opportunity to collaborate with various different people and also to network with industry experts, which might be invaluable for your later employment. Also gives you an opportunity for you to innovate for solutions. So instead of focusing on solving the problem that you might be doing as part of your current projects, it gives you the opportunity to pick a major challenge and come up with an innovative solution. As you're running a team, you're also going to be project managing the various different elements of the business in order to pitch. And so you'll actually gain some project management skills and think about business planning. So where are you going to be? What are your forecasts? This really will be important as to become a team player, as you as a team will obviously have various different strengths and weaknesses and will be working on different areas of the business. And so actually you really need to collaborate and work well as a team in order for the team to succeed. So it's really good for kind of engendering that kind of team player mentality, and that will really help for future in academia, for instance, in mentoring and supervision. And finally, understanding how funding is sourced and managed. So where can you go to get funding for an idea? How can you commercialize and start up a company? Like, who do you go for that initial seed of finance? And obviously the main kind of takeaway prize will be a 5,000 ringgits prize for the winning team. And also there'll be 1,000 ringgits available for the team with the best IP award and 1,000 ringgits for the best business plan pitch. So here's a couple of quotes that people have said who've taken part in YES previously. So Dr. Alicia, who participated in the competition in 1997, said there was actually someone from Biotech YES, which was what the competition was called back then, who recommended Alicia's first real job. Someone from the YES team said, "You'd love this," and so she applied and she joined EPSRC, which is a research council in the UK. So it's something that she hadn't considered before she took part in the YES competition. Dr. Kev participated in 2008, and what he gained was that he'd never had business training before doing YES. So learning about the spin-out process and simulating being part of the company were all good practice. Also gave him an opportunity to learn more about developing and commercializing technologies. And then Dr. Irwin in 2012 participated, and as he said, networking was his main takeaway, as when he then decided to start his own company, some of the judges on the competition ended up being some of the people that were actually on the investment panels when he was looking for funding. So as you can see, it really helps you to kind of gain some of that employment outside of academia as well. So 32% of participants have started a kind of commercial business, 21% have gone into biotechnology, 18% into pharmaceuticals, 8% the government, 10% health, 6% agrochemicals, and 6% education. So you can see what this does is it gives you the opportunity to explore other areas of industry, but also areas of business that maybe you haven't considered yet. So why am I talking to you about it? Well, I was part of a team in 2015. We created a team called Ecto-Decto, revealing life's little critters. And what this was a kind of nitpicking, which was a detection and treatment spray of ectoparasites like head lice. So basically you could spray it on, it would change color if you were positive for head lice, and then you could brush out the head lice as the polymer would change into a matrix which trapped the head lice and their eggs. So you can see this came from our competition, and we were lucky to win. And so we had the opportunity to go and actually experience a real life business plan in America, and also have a great networking opportunity both at the final and also in the bioindustry dinner. So I gained some really invaluable skills from participating and learned a lot about the different types of business that actually the skills that you need in order to take the idea that you may be working on in the lab and then one day implement it in the future. And that's really helped me as an academic to actually understand things like sources of finance and understanding how to apply for funding calls, for instance. So this is a short video from the YES 20 alumni. So I'll play that for you now.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I was the CFO of AER, which meant that I worked with the finances and ensured that our company had the necessary funds. This competition has opened my eyes to a whole other career path, which I wasn't aware of before, and has given me the opportunity to learn about commercialization. The best advice I can give is to make sure to learn as much as you can about businesses, finances, etc., because this is the real reason why you're taking part in this competition, and to make sure you work with your team.
Hi, I'm Annalisa Ferrante. I was Chief Technical Officer at our company in YES 20 competition. I've worked on developing the innovation in the energy storage solution for renewable energies we proposed. Thanks to the YES competition, I have acquired practical and tangible skills regarding business and project management that were otherwise missing in my education program. It was a very good practice for team working and to explore company's environment. This gave me the opportunity to train myself for my future career in the engineering industry. I learned so much during the competition, and my advice to the postgraduates who would like to attend YES in the following years is to enjoy it as much as possible and look for a continuous improvement throughout the journey.
Hi, I'm Richard Sello. I was working as a Chief Business Officer who provides a long-term perspective to the executive leadership team. YES competition has broadened my entrepreneurial skills. It has increased my understanding of the financials and funding of startups. It allowed me to work out of my comfort zone and focus on new topics. Also, it betters my skills related to team interaction and mentoring. It's an interesting competition that can open new horizons professionally for you. It can take you out of your comfort zone, make you a better communicator, and develop new relationships while having fun. So why not give it a go?
Hi, I'm Olamide. I was the Chief Executive Officer of AER. I was responsible to ensure that the overall vision of the company was met. The YES experience really developed my creative thinking skills, team building skills, and problem solving skills. I now have a deeper knowledge about commercializing research and how to pitch your idea or technology to investors to help solve real life issues. The competition also gave me the opportunity to role play in a make-believe company environment, which was a fantastic experience for me, especially for future workplace interactions. YES also exposed me to several other career prospects that are out there, other than the academia. My advice to PGRs would be, take part in the YES scheme if you can. In the process, you get to learn to communicate well and work in multidisciplinary team, which is what you would find in most workplace environments. You would also get to develop technical skills in business management, finance management, and other soft skills that would prepare you better for your career after completing your PhD. I hope to see you as part of the next cohort. Thank you.
Okay, so that was a team that were participated in YES 20, so that was the competition last year. Obviously, they were a UK team, and because of COVID, it was all virtual, so they were very similar experience to what you'll experience this year. So now you're thinking, well, okay, I'm really interested, so how do I enter? So first of all, you have to form a team of 4 to 5 students. It can be multi-institutional and multidisciplinary, so it doesn't just have to be within your school. At the time of participation, you have to be registered as a postgraduate, so either a master's, PhD, or a postdoc, or a research fellow. You can be an early career academic or involved in knowledge exchange or a technician, but you have to be within 18 months of completing your PhD. There can only be 2 early career researchers per team. is not open to those that have an undergraduate or postgraduate business degree. However, if you're not sure, feel free to contact us and we're happy to answer you on a case-by-case basis whether you're eligible to enter. So what's the cost? Well, first of all, your time, as it's so it's 1 3-day workshop and also the final. But it also requires a lot of time for you as a team to work together, to collaborate, to come up with that idea and to develop it into a business plan. There is a financial cost, and it's actually 4,500 ringgits per person, but this will be covered by an ASTI scholarship this year. So actually it's free for you to enter this year. So what are the next steps? Well, form a team. In your team, you have to decide on the roles. So who's going to be the CEO? Who's going to be your head of operations, so the COO? Who's going to be in charge of finance, the CFO? Who's going to be in charge of management, CMO? And who's going to be your scientific officer, the CSO? Now, obviously, if you have a team of 4, you can obviously drop one of these. But if you have a team of 5, these are your areas that you're going to be spearheading and trying to improve to make the business as best as possible. Have another look through these slides and start using them to think about what you're going to come up with as your idea and the next steps involved, i.e. the structure of the competition. Obviously, make sure that you have your diary set out so that you don't have a clash and that you can attend. And start thinking about your idea. So obviously go to the session on the 28th of September, which will help you to think about what types of ideas you might want. And also have a think in your team. Where are your expertise? So where do you think your idea is going to slot in and what problems you want to try and face? And apply. The deadline's the 20th of October, so make sure you get your application in to enter as a team for your chance to win YES 21. If you've got any questions, I will now be happy to answer them. So obviously, please raise your hand or pop a question in the chat box. Look forward to seeing you and look forward to seeing your teams at YES 21 in Malaysia. Thanks very much for listening. Hi, so I can now answer any questions that you might have about my briefing. So I've seen there's a few that have been posted on kind of YouTube comments. So I'll kind of go through those one by one. So the first one is what's the minimum number of participants per group? So usually the teams are 4 or 5 participants. We wouldn't recommend less than 4, as obviously you're going to have to develop a business altogether. So there's quite a lot of work to do, even for a group of 4. Maximum number is 5, but usually 4 or 5 works really well. So that's what we would recommend. So next question, can I participate as an individual? Well, I suppose it's pretty much linked to the previous question. No, it has to be a team. It's also about how you work together as a team. That's all part of the competition. So you have to form a team. But as I've said, it can be with another institution. It can be with other disciplines. So lots of different departments coming together. So I'm sure you'll be able to get a group of 4 or 5 of you together in time for the 20th of October. Are there any age limits? No, so there's no age limits, but obviously if you're doing a PhD or a postdoc, then you can join at any time. If, however, you are an early career researcher, an academic that's just started, you have to be within 18 months of completing your PhD. So that's the only kind of limit. But obviously, if you're a kind of more mature student and you're taking a PhD later on, then there's no actual age limit. So you're welcome to join. Is there any participation fee? So no, this year it's covered by a scholarship from ASTI, who've kindly decided to subsidise the entry cost for the teams that are entering this year, as it's the inaugural year in Malaysia. So hopefully you'll all join and get great experience with all the training. Can we present existing ideas? So no, it has to be a kind of novel idea. Part of pitching that business plan will be looking at the current market and showing how your idea maybe fits a gap in the market, maybe improves upon something that's already there. So we'd really encourage you to kind of try and think outside the box. It might be that you're taking something that's already on the market and then adjusting it slightly. As I've said, it has to be hypothetical, because we don't want anyone to risk possible IP issues later on. Say, for instance, if you're working on a research project and you're worried about, presenting it. Once you've presented it, you then couldn't make that into a business. So we want a hypothetical idea from you, but what you might want to do is take something that's currently on the market and then think about, okay, well, how can I maybe adapt that? Is there something that maybe is coming through in science and so is plausible in a few years' time that I can use to address maybe an issue with the current product? And that might be one way to go about developing a new idea. So are there any specific streams for the competition? Yes, so this year we're running 2 streams. So there's going to be one on physical sciences, which is kind of fintech, engineering, and then there's one on biological sciences, which is more to do with plant microbial medicine. So what we'd like you to do is, as a team, think about which stream you think you are going to come up with an idea that most closely aligns with your kind of ideals as a group and where you're hoping to try and develop and fill a gap in the market. So microbiological studies depends what you're obviously trying to do, but you'll probably come under biological sciences. But again, have a think, what sort of product are you going to try and develop? Because you could, for instance, think, well, actually, we might get a computer scientist on our team and develop an app for a microbiological purpose, in which case you might decide you're actually better off in the physical sciences. So it's not really about your background, it's more about what idea you think you're going to try and present or what kind of problem area you're going to solve. Which plastics and petroleum come under for which stream? Well, again, like the previous question, it probably depends exactly what you're going to do with it. But it sounds like it might be slightly more aligned to physical sciences if it's looking at it from a more kind of engineering and materials idea kind of solution. So what do you need to do to participate? Well, submit your applications. You just need a team at the moment, so 4 to 5 people. Put the team together and get that application in. Once your application's in, then you can obviously start attending all of the creativity workshops to start to think about that idea, ready for the workshops that will be happening at the end of November and December. So I think that's currently all the comments that have been asked on YouTube. So if you have any more, obviously feel free to post some more and I will be around for another couple of minutes. There has been quite a lot of information, so if you kind of think of something afterwards, feel free to please contact me. So obviously my contact details are on the screen, as is ASTI, who are obviously the company, along with the University of Nottingham Malaysia, who are organising it this year. So feel free to contact us with either of those email addresses or the WhatsApp number, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that may occur to you after the briefing.